Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Kat, and we're on day 7 of an entire week of Kaleidos makeup, and I think we all know what day 7 means. It's the Club Nebula palette, and I'm so excited! Oh my god, I've been waiting all week to play with this thing, but I knew I had to wait. So this is what it comes in, and then when you open it, this is what it looks like on the inside. Very, very pretty. You've got like some blue holographic interlaced throughout the entire thing. It says Club Nebula on there, has Angelica Nyqvist's name on there because this is in fact a collaboration between Kaleidos and Angelica Nyqvist. She is a YouTube creator. I'll link her channel down below if you guys want to check her out, but she's probably as big of a fan of Kaleidos as I am. Questionable, because I'm a pretty big fan. I don't know if she's really a bigger fan, but she's the one that got the collaboration, of course. And so, I'm an idiot. This is what it looks like on the inside. Just super duper pretty. A lot of deeper shades that are the matte shades, as well as just a whole bunch of metallic shades on the side there. And that pop of lime green looks very, very nice. I do think that one of the interesting things is, so earlier in the week on day 1, we were looking at the Escape Pod. And again, this is the color story for the Escape Pod. And you can really see that really, aside from this brown, none of the shades are really all that deep. I mean, the matte shades on the top row are like, I would say medium toned, maybe the blue, but not super duper deep. And so trying to create a look that had like a ton of depth to it was difficult, but that is something that this palette definitely has in spades. But to show you guys just both of them next to each other so you can kind of see the differences in the color stories, I would definitely say that the Club Nebula palette is like a perfect opposite to what the Escape Pod is, where if you were to like combine the two of them together, oh man, the looks you could create. I'm probably gonna do that at some point, honestly. But for today, it is all about this guy. And then of course, we have to use the coolest of the highlighters from Kaleidos along with this. So we're going to be using the Space Age Prophecy Multichrome highlighter. And oh god, I've been using this guy so much. The embossing that was on there is like almost gone because I've just been on a daily basis using this guy because I love it so much. But that's going to be the highlighter that we're going to use, and we are going to do 2 different eye looks, just because I want to make sure that we give just the best and most, just all the things to the palette. And so that's what we're going to be doing. And then at the very end, I will show you guys all 7 looks that I created for this week, and we'll kind of talk about which ones were my favorite and least favorite. I think based on earlier videos, we already kind of know which ones were my like least favorites, but that's neither here nor there. We'll cover all 7 of the looks real quick at the end for like a minute. And then I would love to know what your guys' thoughts were on like which looks you guys liked, which ones you didn't. If you want to see more from the Club Nebula palette, I can definitely do more. Whatever you guys would like, you let me know. So first thing we're going to do is swatch. So let me roll my sleeve up because as per usual, wearing long sleeve when I need to swatch. And since this palette has all of the shade names with the shades, instead of having to type my text up there for you guys, I'm just going to tell you what the shade names are. So the first one up is going to be a metallic shade Firefly. And this is just a really awesome kind of lime green metallic. Then we have a 7 of 9. And that is just a really nifty, I would say not quite turquoisey blue, but like in between a sky blue and a turquoise blue. And then we have that awesome lime green shade that is Gravity. Ooh, that is pretty. Oh man. All right. And as Angelica was going over like the history behind the shade names, they're all kind of like science fiction-y names because she's really into sci-fi. And so that first shade, Firefly, it's from the show Firefly. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Just a small little Joss Whedon show from back in the day. Ran for 1 season, then got canceled and broke literally every single fan's heart, including my own. It's fine. I don't miss that show at all. Here we go. 4th shade is going to be the Queen of Blades. And that is definitely a deeper tone shade. I would say it's like not quite blue, but also not quite green. It's like in between the two. And then we have Void, which is definitely a dark navy. So you can kind of see the difference between the two, where this one gives off a bit more of a green vibe and this guy definitely more blue. Then we have You're My Only Hope, which is another metallic shade. And that is this guy. Wait, is that a... I heard a rumor that there were a few multi-chromes and duochromes in here. As I am looking at Firefly up top here, that is definitely at a minimum a duochrome because it's green, and then as I am looking at it, I am seeing pink, which is really nifty. And then this guy down here, I am getting some blue along with a little bit of purple, so definitely at least some duochromes so far that we have come across. I don't know which ones are the multi-chromes, and so I'm kind of hoping that we'll be able to see that automatically. But if not, my first guess is going to be this Firefly shade might be a multi-chrome, because I am already just getting a very crystal clear duochrome shift, and so usually those are the ones where like I just can't quite see the third shift on there yet. Then we have Naru, which is a grayish neutral shade, a little bit of brown, but definitely more on the cool toned gray side. And then we have Astro, which is another bluish metallic. Oh, that is, okay, so I'm seeing purple, blue. Is there some green in there? I'm seeing maybe a little bit of green. So I think this is definitely one of the multi-chromes. The next shade is gonna be Rock Hopper. And that is this guy, which is definitely kind of like a deeper grayish eggplant mixture. I would say this one's definitely more on the grayish side, and then the next shade is going to be more of a deeper eggplant shade. And that is the shade Cylon, which I do get that reference from Battlestar Galactica, so not a complete square. I do know a little bit about sci-fi. Then we have another metallic shade, Celestial, which that is a little bit, oh my gosh. Okay, that's probably a multi-chrome, but a bit of like an iridescent. So you can kind of see a little bit of a pink shift on my arm there, maybe mixed in with a little bit of yellow. I'm definitely seeing some gold as I look at it. Let me see if I can deepen that shade up a bit. Yeah, definitely at least some purple pink and some goldish on there. And then the next one is going to be Nova, which is also more of an iridescent shade, has some bluish purple shift on there for sure. And then the last three shades that we have, it looks like Samus in the palette, but I'm probably gonna say it's pronounced Seamus. I'm not entirely sure. But that is this guy, which is more of just a kind of peachy neutral shade. Then we have Nebula, which is definitely a pinkish metallic shade. Pinkish orange, I would say. And then the last shade is Red Giant, and this is a matte shade that is like a nice cranberry shade. So this is all of them, and I am so excited to be dipping into all of this. Oh my goodness. Okay, so for the first eye, I think I am going to do a bluish green combination on there. I think we're gonna do the blue on top with this lighter blue and then the deeper blue, and then throw in some metallics, and then we'll do the green on the bottom. But I'm gonna dip into that lighter blue shade that's the 7 of 9, that's this guy, and we're gonna go in on the right eye first. Next up, we are going to go into that deeper blue shade that is Void. Actually, no, before we do that, I think I'm going to go into that more gray toned shade down here. I'm going to start that on the inner half of the lid, and then go into the deeper blue on the outer half. Alright, so now we're going to go into Void real quick for that. So so far these are just blending like a dream. They're going really, really nicely. So next up, we are going to go into the under eye, and we're going to start off with that lime green shade Gravity. Okay, and then I am going to grab that deeper, the Queen of Blades kind of green shade, while I still have some of the greenish yellow on my brush, and we're going to dab into that for the outer third. Man, I already like this look, and it's only the matte so far. We haven't even touched the metallics. For the top of the lid, to start off with, we will go into, we'll start off with You're My Only Hope, which is that lighter shade, and then we will move into the blue shade that is the Astro shade. And I am purposefully attempting to only apply that to the first inner third, so that we still have a little bit of that gray shade in the middle, so that when I apply the blue, it's being applied to two different bases, so that hopefully it'll change a little bit more of the shift. Look at me actually attempting to get all technical with what I'm doing. Settle down. All right. There is a lot of fallout so far, which I think is fairly normal for Kaleidos metallics as we've seen throughout the week, but it's worth it. All right, I'm going into Astro next for the back 2/3 of the lid. It did lighten it up a decent amount, and so I am going to just ever so slightly go back into the Void shade to deepen that up just a bit again. And I definitely have to comment how nicely everything is blending. Like, if you're wanting to layer all of these different shades, like adding in that little bit of additional void on there, it did deepen it up just a tiny bit in the corner, but it didn't take any of the sparkle away. I mean, just all of the shades are working really, really nicely in conjunction with each other. And so this is definitely a palette where you can layer if that is what you are wanting to do. Next, we are going to go into Firefly for that inner 2/3 of my lower lash line, because we're just wanting to glow up everything on here. And then same as before, I'm gonna dip into that darker green, just kind of keep that inner corner depth going. I think I am going to completely finish this eye before we move into the next one. So I'm going to throw on some eyeliner and mascara real quick just so you guys can see that finished product, and then we will move on to the next one. All right, the first eye is done, and I did in fact forget to go into the inner corner, and so for that I just dabbed on a little bit of Nova, which is that bluish iridescent that's right next to the purplish one. There you go. So this is what I tossed on the inner corner. This is the other iridescent that has a bit more of a pinkish shade shift to it. So this is the final look for that eye. So we have all of the awesome shifts going on. I just tossed in a little bit of a lime green liner on my waterline, and that is the completed look. All right, so next up we are going to jump into the left eye, and for that one, I'm getting the sense that we are going to be doing a bit more of a reddish purple look. I think we will do red on the top of the lid and the purple on the lower line. So the first thing we're going to go into is the Seamus shade, which is this kind of peachy orange, and that is going to go on the inner half of my eye. So next up we are going to go into that kind of cranberry red giant shade for the outer half. right, I think that has blended really, really nicely so far. So next up, we are going to do the lower lash line. For that, we are going to be using the more purplish shades. We're just going to go into the Cylon shade, which is that eggplanty kind of shade, and we are going to just apply that to the entirety of the lower lash line. I honestly think that that blend between the orange and the red is probably one of the best blends that I've had in a hot minute. So pretty pleased with my efforts on that one. It's a rare day that I blend something well. Yeah, that's coming together very nicely. Holy moly. All right, who knew I could makeup? Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is jump into the metallic shades for this look, and we are going to start off, I think, on the inner portion of the lid. We're going to do Celestial, which is that kind of duo multi-chrome pinkish orange one. I'm going to try as much as I can just to keep that on the lid and not have it go up beyond there. All right, then the next shade that we're going to go into is going to be Nebula, which is that really pretty orangey kind of metallic shade. I have not had a good blend like this in a hot minute. Like this is very nice. All right, and then I think for the purple on the under eye, we are going to go back into You're My Only Hope, which is this guy up top here, and very lightly we will apply that because I do want to keep more so that deeper tone on there. That's probably already good enough. Now we just need the inner corner, and I think for that I am, you know what, we're gonna use the highlighter. Oh, yes. Oh man, it's like my eyeball is on fire. Oh my gosh. It looks amazing. It's literally a sunset on my face. Oh man, I mean, look at this already. I am in love with this. Oh, and then how it has a little bit of that green. Oh man, all right. Let me go ahead and throw the highlighter on my cheeks real quick, and then we will finish up. BT dubs, this is the highlighter with that shift. I know that I've swatched this for you guys many a time. Okay, here we go with the face. Let me go ahead and throw on eyeliner and mascara, and then we will come back and we will take a quick look at all of the photos from all of the looks this week and talk about which ones we liked or disliked and what our favorites were. All right, and we're back with the final look. So I'm gonna come in close so you guys can see both of them. And I just used like a nice purple for the tight lining on this eye. Oh man, I love both of these looks. I honestly, I can't decide which one I like more. I think they both turned out very, very nice, and they're both so unique that I just, oh man, I can't decide. This is just, I love it. I think it looks so, so pretty. I have no words. But let's go ahead and take a look at all of the looks from this week. I will scooch over so we can plop that picture up like we did last time. So I think out of all of them, the look from day one is actually my least favorite. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I love normally those color combinations of like blues and greens and oranges. I mean, clearly like day 5, literally just blue and orange. But I feel like in this particular case, it just didn't turn out quite as well as I would have liked. I'm not really sure what I did wrong on there, but I just didn't like how it ended up. And so I definitely think that that's my least favorite out of all of them. And I think that my second least favorite is going to be the one from day 3, which is the Cyber Bronze palette. The red with the silver, I do think it's a fun color combination, but just as far as like combinations that I normally go for. I'm not a huge fan of red usually, and so that one just kind of, I don't know. I felt similar disappointment with that one to what I felt during the Pat McGrath week, where I was also doing like a bronze seduction palette with red, and it just didn't really go the way I wanted it to. So I think that's my second least favorite. Third at the bottom, I think, is going to be the Sashimi City palette from day 6, which that's primarily just because it's a neutral eye. I mean, it was pretty, there was nothing wrong with it, it just didn't really stand out to me at all, and so I just kind of meh, you know? I don't know. It wasn't really doing anything spectacular for me. Now we get into the tough ones, because I liked a lot of the rest of the week. I can't decide, because I literally, like, I love the looks from today. I'm gonna need for you guys to decide. Let me know down in the comments what of the rest of the week you guys liked the most, because I can't choose, because I loved the green that we did on day 2. I loved day 4 with the blue and the purple. I loved day 5 with the blue and the orange, and I love both of these looks. I'm gonna need some assistance. So you guys tell me which one was your favorite. Let me know down in the comments down below. We'll see if we can like put some kind of ranking together, because I loved all of them. But that is all the looks that we have for an entire week of Kaleidos. Let me know what you guys thought just in general of the whole week. Were there any looks that you would have done different? Are there any different looks that you want me to do with the Club Nebula palette? I cannot recommend this guy enough. They just did a restock on the 17th. Because this is limited edition, so it's not going to be around for forever. And so they did a restock on the 17th and sold out, I want to say, like within a minute. It was insane. And so if you have not yet picked it up, they are planning to do another restock. They don't have a date yet, just because of like weather and things, and it takes a little while to get all of the materials together, but there will be one more restock, and they are going to restock a lot of it. And so I would definitely check it out. If you have not picked it up yet, regardless of whether you're a fan of Angelica Nyqvist, regardless of whether you're normally a fan of Kaleidos, this palette is absolutely worth it. Give me a thumbs up if you guys liked this video, if you liked the whole week, you know, whatever, thumbs down if you did not. Either way, let me know what you guys thought. I'm not opposed to critique either. But this was an entire week of Kaleidos, and I am already looking very much forward to month 3, because we've got a pretty cool indie brand that we're going to be looking at. But if you have made it to the end of the video and you have not yet subscribed, I think you should subscribe. I'm just saying, you made it through a decently long video. I think you kind of like me. I think you should subscribe. Join my family on here as we just discuss all of the colors of the rainbow that are out there in makeup land, because that's what this is all about, is just poop ton of color on my face, all the indie brands, all the mainstream brands, all my luxury fails for you guys to see, because they are always a fail. I don't know, my face just doesn't like to have nice pricey things on it apparently. But this was day 7, and you guys just go have a good one.